and Hatem Dhiab, Managing Partner, Gerber Kawasaki Wealth Investment Management. Thank you both for being with us. David, I'll start with you. Was there anything within the earnings that surprised you? Is the rally merited?
I think it's merited. I think what was surprising was sort of the confluence of the details. I think a lot of things came together at the same time to lower their cost of goods sold and support margins. Cybertruck margin, they become profitable. A lot of subsidy stuff coming in, battery technology advantages. So I think they had kind of at least a trifecta of things that in their advantage, working in their advantage. So I think that was a little bit of a surprise for me, but the underlying theme here is that this is still all about AI getting them to that unsupervised full self-driving.
Look, it's been a great day for the stock, and I saw at least one report that said fade the rally. Where do you stand, Hatem?
I mean, if you want to take profits, I think this is a good time to do it. Despite how good the numbers were today, I think we still don't have a lot of details as to what kind of growth we can expect from Tesla next year. We did hear Elon say we're going to have 20 to 30% growth. I think people are excited today because they've returned to a little bit of growth, but really not much. But we still lack a ton of detail on how good FSD is. What is the timeline on this CyberCab? I think today was a save from the disaster that the 1010 event was, but we still lack a lot of details for future growth.
The timeline on the CyberCab originally was very disappointing. People wanted it sooner and faster. What do you think of it when you think about that, Hatem?
Sorry, about the CyberCab?
CyberCab timing.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to know. Yeah, I would like to know when we're going to have full production. What's the process? What's the economic model? I mean, I've been driving around in Waymos in LA for the last couple of weeks, and the thing works. It's amazing. Tesla has been in the autonomy business for 10 years now, and we still don't have anything. So I would love to have more details on that.
Yeah. And what have been some of the big research questions you've been looking at here, David, when it comes to Tesla versus the competitors? You talked about the variety of things, right? The margins on the Cybertruck, batteries maybe being a better point, right, and being a revenue stream. What does some of your research really focus on Tesla versus the other EV competitors?
I think it comes down to this race towards true unsupervised full self-driving, and the underpinning there is something that was mentioned in the earnings call. This idea that they have a 29,000 GPU cluster running that's being trained right now, 50,000 nodes of GPUs coming online by the end of October. That's being fed by 100,000 miles a day of information that consumer cars are feeding into this beast that will determine whether this Waymo quality unsupervised full self-driving will ever happen. To Hatem's point, I drove one of my Teslas today and it disengaged a few times, and there was no way I would ride in the back seat of that thing. It is not like being in a car with an Uber driver. So when Elon talks about you've got to believe in us as an AI company, he really means it. That will determine whether or not any of this stuff, the CyberCab, any of it comes true. I believe it will eventually.
Energy is a bright spot for the company, right, Hatem? Is that something you've focused on?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the margins on energies are fantastic, and it's growing at, I think, 50% year over year, almost double year over year. So the energy business is really something, especially with the improvements to batteries that Tesla is doing, and really the fact that we just need so much more energy and so much more storage, and Tesla is kind of in the leader in that space. And it's, it's a $10 billion run rate business right now, which is really fantastic. So I think seeing that, and you have to give some credit to the Tesla team for, bringing the cost of goods sold, for some of the development on the battery technology. Elon and his team have done a great job there, but we oftentimes just keep focusing on the cars.
Hatem, I know you've been, you had sold off some Tesla. You were worried about Elon Musk. You were worried about no cheaper vehicle, lack of clarity. There were a few things that sort of got in the way. And so you sort of, trimmed your position. I know you still have a position from last time we spoke. Would you trim it more and sell off some today? Or are you feeling more optimistic about the future and stay with the same amount?
Yeah, we managed two allocations, and with Tesla has become one of our biggest holdings, and with the lack of growth, at the end of the day, if you're a growth investor, you're looking for companies that are growing, and Tesla hasn't really been growing for the last year or so. So for us, it was an opportunity to trim, and we'll take days like this where the stock has had a great performance to really kind of look at the allocation and see if we can trim.
Yeah, I had the founder and CEO of Energy X on the other day, and he said, Tesla had been leading the way. He's focusing a lot on lithium and the demand there, but he also liked Rivian, Lucid, Polestar. The competitive landscape's pretty vast. David, what do you think about the competitors, and what do we need to know, especially if you're a Tesla investor?
I think, if you're an EV nerd, you can appreciate Rivian and Lucid, but there is a monstrous gap between the efficiencies that Tesla has been able to achieve. They just revealed that their average cost per vehicle is under or close to $35,000 per vehicle. They're alleging an even lower cost vehicle moving forward. So I would say that, yes, in a basket of EV stocks, if you are an EV fan, I think that a lot of emotion has got to be behind that. I would be remiss, Nicole, if I didn't mention the elephant in the room, and that is there's a presidential election coming in a few weeks in the US, and Elon has put himself square in the middle of it. And I think the fortunes of Tesla are partially going to be affected, at least, by what happens in a few weeks.
Yeah. The $1 million giveaway under some scrutiny. Okay. Thank you both very much, and some good numbers, at least today, for Tesla.